Okay, welcome back to my channel for the third part of the videos on the power supply for the Grundig transistor 5000 satellite radio. Now, in the first two parts I showed the diagrams of the unit, and then in the second video I took a brief look inside. So in this third video I'm going to look at the voltage coming out and what happens when I put it under load. Now, I don't have a proper dummy load unit. So what I've got is a 30 ohm 10 watt resistor. So it won't even get warm, I shouldn't think, with this. I'm monitoring the current, the digital meter there. And I've got this little oscilloscope which is going to show the output voltages. I hope it will be clear enough to see that. You can see at the moment we're off load and it's connected up and it's supplying, according to this oscilloscope, a voltage of 8.87 volts off load. Now, all I have to do to put it on load is to connect this resistor, which is going through the ammeter, and we can see what the current is. And nominally, if it was a full 9 volts and this was exactly 30 ohms, I would expect to get 300 milliamps, but it's actually going to be a little bit less than that because this is slightly more than 30 ohms as it turns out, and the voltage is slightly lower. So we'll see what happens when we apply this to there. Right, so we're now under load and we're drawing nearly 280 milliamps. So that's only a little over half of its rated voltage, but it wouldn't normally see a continual load of that much anyway. I don't want to risk overstretching it and taking the fuses out or whatever, because I'm practicing the radio. It's going to get an intermittent load, but it's not going to get continuously that kind of load at all. So that's working fine. That's stable at that 277 milliamps roughly. There is a little bit of ripple there, but it's not very significant. You can't really see it on this range, which is 5 volts per division. The voltage is still 8.87 volts. And you can see there's a slight bit of ripple there, a few millivolts, but again, there's more smoothing in the radio itself, so you really don't hear any hum or anything like that on the radio. It works fine, and it's probably better than the original setup was, which again, with 2020 hindsight, I think I should have done these tests with the old system before I rewired it. But as you see, it's been under load now for a little while. It stayed at the 8.87 volts, and the current is still 277 milliamps. And now if I disconnect it again, so there's no current, we're back to still at 8.87. Has this unit got warm? No, not noticeably. There's no noticeable warmth in this at all. So yeah, it's handling that fine, and I really don't anticipate it needing to supply a full 400 milliamps continually. That wouldn't happen in real life. It might peak at that, but I'm quite confident, having used this sort of circuit many times before, that this will handle it very well. So anyway, that's a little bit of a test of it under load. I'm sorry that I can't try different loads very easily because I just don't have the setup for that. I'm limited for space. I mean, I'm working in a tiny spare room most of the time. I do have a workshop, but it's mainly for the heavy things like pillar drill and a bandsaw and a grinder, those sort of things. and it's not very nice, especially this time of year, to try and work out there. So I do most of my electronics in this little spare room. So yeah, I could have a lot more test equipment, but I haven't got anywhere to put it. So that's that. Anyway, I hope this has been informative and helpful, and I'm sorry I had to split it into three. I don't have the skills in photography and video making. My original career was electronics. My training was 50 years ago, and the last time I worked in that line was 25 years ago. So my videos are for entertainment only, and people need to be assured that they properly understand what they're doing before they embark on any wiring, especially involving high voltages. And you notice that I wouldn't do the test with this out of its case, simply because having been a professional doesn't mean I can't make mistakes, and there's no point in working on live stuff when you don't have to. It's much safer to put it all back together and then do the tests, and that's what I've done. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll say goodbye again, and take care.